Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today we are going to be doing a back to basics watercolor sampler and going over 8 different techniques that you can use in your everyday watercolor practice. And as you're watching the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. It does a lot to support the channel and I really appreciate the feedback. And with that, let's get started. So for this technique sampler, you're going to want 140-pound cold press watercolor paper like I've got here. I've also split off the paper into 8 different sections using washi tape. I also like to put a border of tape around the outside to completely frame off each section. For watercolors today, you can use any type of watercolor, any color palette you want, artist's choice, have fun with it. And the same goes for your brush selection. Just choose something you're comfortable with. I'm going to start with a number 6 quill brush. We're going to be doing some texturing techniques too, so I recommend having a little bit of table salt and some plastic wrap handy. And as usual, you'll want a jar of water, some paper towels, and a small spray bottle to activate your colors. That's all you need, and if you forget any of that, check the video description for a list of materials. Now to jump into our first technique, I'm going to activate one of my colors here. I want to try this really pretty purple. And we're going to do a flat wash, and a flat wash is the most basic technique in the watercolor playbook. And basically it's just an even application of your watercolor to the paper. So for this, I like to wet my brush and I'll do a strip at the top, the middle, and the bottom, and then I'll re-wet my brush and blend those together. And it just helps create a nice smooth layer of color. And it looks like I have a couple of lighter spots that I'd like to touch up. So I'm gonna just grab a little bit more color and tap it in there and blend it. And another great way to help really even out the color is to slightly tilt your paper and let gravity spread the watercolor smoothly and evenly across the paper. This also helps prevent overworking the color with your brush, which can make the color itself look kind of thick and muddy. So for the next technique, we're going to do a graded wash, which typically involves one color. I'm going to use this green. And with this technique, the goal is to create a smooth transition from dark to light or light to dark values. To do this, we'll apply a saturated strip of color at the top like this. Then I'm going to clean off my brush and load it with water. And I'll use that water to gradually pull that color down to the bottom of my sample here. And it looks a little too light at the bottom for me, so I'm just adding a very watered down subtle touch of green there, just blending it in. You don't want to overwork your watercolor. The key to vibrant watercolor is not overprocessing. It's actually a really great practice for learning when to let go of things. You'll often see graded washes used in skyscapes and landscapes. For our next technique, we're going to do wet on dry. Now, for the base of this, let's go back and practice a flat wash. So pick any color you like. I've obviously picked blue, and I'm going to get a nice even layer of blue on this little rectangle here, and then we're going to let this dry completely. Now, once our first color is dry to the touch, we're going to pick a second color. You can pick any color you like and apply a design. And as you've probably figured out by now, we're putting wet watercolor on top of dry watercolor, so that's why the technique is called wet on dry. And you'll notice that because the first layer is dry, that the shapes and designs that we apply now are holding their structure. So wet on dry is a great technique for adding sharp edges or details, things like that, to your watercolor pieces. In contrast to the wet on dry technique, we have the wet on wet technique, which is what we're going to do next. So get your brush wet and select a color. And for the first layer, let's practice a graded wash this time. So I'm going to add my strip of color and then wet my brush to pull that color to the other side of the space here. There we go. And while I do a little touch up here, I just wanted to mention that even though I've been doing watercolor for a while, I still like to do these sampler pages because not only is it a great way to learn or test out new techniques, it's a great way to test drive any new color palettes that you might have and just see what the application is like. It's really helpful before you dive into a bigger piece. But back to our wet on wet sample. With the first layer still wet, I'm adding in a second color. I've wet my brush, Got a little red on there, and I'm just adding some splatter. And notice how the red kind of blossoms out? That's because the wet watercolor is landing on a wet surface, so it allows the color to spread. This technique is great for loose painting or adding atmosphere and depth to backgrounds. For our next sample, we're going to do a technique called glazing. Glazing is actually a type of wet on dry technique. In glazing, you let the first layer of watercolor dry, and then you add another transparent layer of wet watercolor over the top, and you can do this for as many layers as you like. The repeated layering of transparent colors slowly builds depth, and it can also create new colors and tones and even harmonize the colors in an entire piece. Now, you can do glazing with any number of colors, but for today's sample, let's pick 3 colors. For the first layer, we'll use 2 of the 3 colors to make random shapes. I'm doing circles. I'm also ensuring that they don't overlap on this first layer. Once our first layer is dry to the touch, we're going to take our third color and add some additional shapes. And this time we do want them to overlap with the existing ones. And as you apply the second layer, you'll start to notice the first layer of shapes fall into the background, creating depth. Also, the colors from the first layer now become the undertone for the shapes that are overlapping them in the second layer, which subtly harmonizes the colors of all of the shapes. And you can use this glazing technique for all kinds of things. Most recently, I've been using glazing in a galaxy series that I've been working on. It's perfect for building up layers of nebulous clouds that you see in galaxies. And actually, if you're interested, next week I am going to do a layered galaxy painting tutorial. So make sure to stay tuned for that and check it out. I'm really excited to share. All right, once you have finished up your glazing sample, we're going to move on to a technique called a variegated wash. And a variegated wash is basically just the soft, smooth blending of 2 or more colors. And for this one, let's use 3 different colors again. I'm going to wet my brush and grab a little red to start. Let's put the red strip at the top. Then I'm going to take some orange, and I'm going to put a little bit wider strip of that orange right in the middle. I'll clean off the brush, and then I'm going to take a little bit of yellow and put a strip of yellow at the very bottom. Next, I'm going to clean off my brush and reload it with water. Then I'm going to pull that red down into the orange. And the reason that I left that orange strip a little wider, or the middle strip, is so that the other colors have a place to overlap and you don't lose the middle color. And I've done the same there with the yellow. I've just pulled it up into the orange. And this is a pretty good first pass, but I want just a little bit more red in that top third. Now, variegated washes work wonderfully as backgrounds in abstract paintings. I often use them when I'm creating sunsets, and they work really well when you're creating reflections on water where you want a satiny, smooth blend of color. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Let's move on to our last 2 samples. And for these, we're going to be playing around with texture. This first sample, we're going to be using salt. So for the base layer, you can do a flat wash, a graded wash, a variegated wash. This is a good time to practice. Once you apply whichever wash you've decided to use and it's still wet, sprinkle a little salt on top. And wherever the salt is, it's going to soak up that water and that pigment, and you'll end up with this starburst texture. So you can use this for all kinds of things: snow, tiny little flowers, or just a cool texture in your background. Just make sure everything's completely dry before you remove the salt, or you'll lose that texture. With our salt sprinkled, let's move on to our final sample of the day. We're going to be using plastic wrap for this one. And again, you can apply any wash that you like for the base layer. I'm going to do a variegated wash using 2 colors this time. Let's do rich raspberry and this beautiful gold color. Once your wash is applied and still wet, take that little piece of plastic wrap, trying to avoid your wet salt square, and just pinch the plastic wrap together. You'll get this really cool crinkly texture. And just like the salt, we'll wait until it's completely dry before removing. When everything's dry, remove the plastic wrap, brush off the salt, and then take off the framing tape to reveal a beautiful watercolor sampler. I think these samplers are super relaxing to make and also a great way to practice and experiment. And I hope you can use this on your watercolor journey. Thanks so much for creating with me today. Until next time, take care.